call the meeting to order at this time. First thing tonight is a public hearing. Have a public hearing to rezone to R5. Owner Brenda A. Mathis and Wanda A. Harwood. Mr. Stokes.
Thank you, Mayor. This is May 14, 2018, 6 p.m. Public hearing with respect to rezoning a parcel of property to R5. The owner is Brenda A. Mathis and Wanda A. Harwood. Parcel is located at map 00113D002, 1565 Deach Road, Ringo, Georgia 30742. Is there anyone here who would like to speak either for or against this rezoning of this property to R5? Come up, sir, and if you would sign in. Just introduce yourself to the council.
So my name is Lynn Reeves, and I am from Oxford, Mississippi, and I have a few things to hand out, if that's okay. I thought I had more than this. Might have to share. Thank you. One other copies off.
We can share.
So again, my name is Lynn Reeves, and I'm with Ridgewood Consulting, and my partners and I develop high-quality, affordable housing across the Southeast. We have developments in Mississippi, Tennessee, Florida, Texas, and looking to expand into Georgia and Louisiana. And what you have in front of you is just a map showing where this property is located off of 1565 Deach Road. And also just, again, a quick request summary of what we are asking to have rezoned from C2 to R5 to allow for multifamily development. And then just going into what we're going to build. And to back up a little bit to tell you about what we do, I mentioned that we build ultra high quality affordable housing, and people hear that word affordable and oftentimes they don't know exactly what that means. I mean, affordable is a relative term. What's affordable to you is different than what's affordable to me. And so I thought I would help maybe define what that bucket is and what it is that we do. And so we compete for tax credits, and we do that in various states, as I mentioned, and we compete through the Department of Community Affairs, which is the state agency for Georgia that allocates these tax credits. And it's a highly competitive process, and within that process, there are a number of different things that people build. What we build is new construction only, non-subsidized rents. So we compete for these tax credits. It's scored on an objective scoring system, each application is. And if successful, we take these tax credits, we sell them to an investor that represents companies like Amazon or Google that have enormous tax liabilities. They buy into our fund, and then we take their dollars and pay a guy on a bulldozer to build our sites. So that's what we are. What we are not is we are not Section 8, we are not USDA, we're not HUD, we're not Farmers Home Loan, whatever other subsidy programs that may or may not exist out there. So we are strictly new construction developers using tax credits for construction purposes, not subsidies for operations purposes. So it's very important that everybody understands that distinction and understands, I guess, what I mean when I say affordable housing, because there are a ton of different definitions. So now that I've made that hopefully clear, what we'd like to build at the site at Deach Road is a 64-unit garden-style apartment complex. That's 2 stories. It'll be a combination of brick and hardy board siding. Again, these are all high-quality developments and materials. I brought some pictures here. for y'all to look at of some developments that we've done in the past. This is what is a typical signage entrance to our developments. So that's natural stone, custom iron letters for the neighborhood. This is our townhome model that we built. This is a fourplex. We're looking at doing a apartment style, so it would be slightly different, but the same materials: hardy board siding, brick, 30-year roof, all green certifications. This is another townhome. This is another example of our townhome. And the community building, which each one of our developments has a community building in the background as well. So we use street lighting, landscaping, curb and gutter. So a lot of the things that you would find in our development, you might not even find in a local neighborhood, because that's just what a lot of it is what the program requires. It requires that kind of quality, and it's what we like to build because we're going to have it for a very long time. So with that is what my request is, and thank you all for your time. And if you have any questions, I'd be happy to answer. I guess this meeting is the product of a successful meeting with the Planning Corporation. So we had a very similar meeting, and they voted approval based on what we were wanting to do. So that's why I'm here, and thank you. And I'll be happy to answer any questions.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you. That means it.
Is there anyone else here that would like to speak for or against the rezoning at 1565 Deach Road, Ringgold, Georgia, 30742? Mayor, we can conclude the public hearing.
Thank you, Mr. Stokes. This time we'll call a regularly scheduled council meeting to order. Mr. Rogers, if you would, please do the invocation. Mr. Crawford, lead us in the pledge, please.
Let's pray. Dear Heavenly Father, we thank you for your love. Thank you for all you've done for us, Lord. Thank you for this city. Lord, thank you for our country. Please give us wisdom as we conduct the business of the city of Fort Oglethorpe. In Jesus Christ's name we pray. Amen.
Amen.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Next item on the agenda is the reading of the minutes of the previous council meeting. Members of the council have had an opportunity to review these. I will entertain a motion to approve.
Make a motion.
I have a motion. Do I have a second?
Second, sir.
I have a motion and a second. Any discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries unanimous. Next item on the agenda, communications from the mayor. A little bit of bad news. This is the tough part about this job, I guess. We lost Stump Martin just over the weekend. They had the funeral for Stump today, and he was a difference maker in local sports for people that's not involved in sports. I mean, Craig can tell you, from the Little League all the way up to the high schools. He was responsible for getting scholarships for some of these high school athletes, and we had a weekly sports program that covered all 4 North Georgia high schools, not just LFO here in the city. But he'll be missed. Let's keep him in our thoughts and our prayers. Next item on the agenda is zoning matters. We have none. Next item on the agenda is ordinances. Item number 1 under ordinances, third and final reading, rezoning, ordinance number 2018-09. Ms. Simpkins.
Thank you, Mayor. This is ordinance number 2018-09. It's rezoning. Be it ordained by the mayor and city council of the city of Fort Oglethorpe, Georgia, and it is hereby ordained by the authority thereof. Section 1, that the following property owned by Brenda A. Mathis and Wanda A. Harwood, and known as map 0013D002, 1565 Deach Road, Ringgold, Georgia 30736, is rezoned to an R5 zoning. Said property is particularly described as follows, and it's at Exhibit A attached here too. Section 2, if any part of this ordinance shall be held to be invalid or unconstitutional, such invalidity or unconstitutionality shall not affect or impair other parts of this ordinance unless it clearly appears that such other parts are wholly and necessarily dependent upon the part held to be invalid or unconstitutional. Section 3, that this ordinance shall take effect from and after its adoption by the mayor and city council. And the Exhibit A is available in the city clerk's office. Thank you, Mayor.
Thank you, Ms. Simpkins. I have a motion to approve. Last call, motion to approve. Ordinance number 2018-09, rezoned to R5, fails for lack of a motion. Next item on the agenda, item number 2 under ordinances, second reading, ordinance number 2018-10. Ms. Simpkins.
Ordinance number 2018-10, an ordinance to amend the Code of Ordinances, City of Fort Oglethorpe, Georgia, to provide for certain revisions of the Fort Oglethorpe, Georgia Code of Ordinances, Chapter 34, Environment, Article 10, Care, Placement, and Protection of Trees on Public Property and City Rights-of-Way, Section 34.401, Definitions, to provide for provisions therein as authorized by state law, to provide for modification, to provide for severability, to repeal conflicting ordinances or parts thereof, to provide for an adoption and effective date, and for all other purposes allowed by law. Whereas the duly elected governing authority of the City of Fort Oglethorpe, Georgia is authorized under Article 9, Section 2, Paragraph 3 of the Constitution of the State of Georgia, the Official Code of Georgia annotated 3635-3, and the Charter of the City of Fort Oglethorpe, Georgia, to adopt reasonable ordinances to protect and improve the public health, safety, and welfare of the citizens of the City of Fort Oglethorpe, Georgia, and whereas the duly elected governing authority of the City of Fort Oglethorpe, Georgia is vested in the City Council composed of a mayor and 5 council members, and now therefore it is hereby ordained by the governing authority of the City of Fort Oglethorpe that the Code of Ordinances for the City of Fort Oglethorpe, Chapter 34, Environment, Article 10, Care, Placement, and Protection of Trees on Public Property and City Rights-of-Ways, Section 34.401, Definitions, are hereby amended as follows. The new definitions include the following words, terms, and phrases when used in this article shall have the meanings ascribed to them in this section except where the context clearly indicates a different meaning. Administrator, the city manager, or his designee who is responsible for the administration of the provisions of this ordinance. Critical root zone, that area of tree roots around the tree measured to be no less than 1.2 feet in radius for every inch of trunk diameter measured 4 feet above the ground. Public trees are herein defined as trees in public parks on public property at public facilities, and all area owned by the city and rights-of-way to which the public has free access. Street trees are herein defined as trees, shrubs, bushes, and all other woody vegetation on land lying between property lines on either side of all streets, avenues, or rights-of-way within the city, or lying within all rights-of-way of all streets, avenues, or ways within the city. Topping is defined as the severe cutting of tree limbs to stubs larger than 3 inches in diameter within the tree's crown to such a degree as to remove the normal canopy and disfigure the tree. And this is the second reading, Mayor. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Simpkins. Item number 3 under ordinances, first reading of ordinance number 2018-11, annexation. Ms. Simpkins.
Ordinance number 2018-11, annexation, be it ordained by the mayor and city council of the City of Fort Oglethorpe, Georgia, and is hereby ordained by the authority thereof. Section 1, that the following property owned by ERTH LLC and known as a part of map 0010B036 Emerson Circle is annexed into the City of Fort Oglethorpe. Said property is particularly described as follows, and Exhibit A is available in the city clerk's office. Section 2, if any part of this ordinance shall be held to be invalid or unconstitutional, such invalidity or unconstitutionality shall not affect or impair other parts of this ordinance unless it clearly appears that such other parts are wholly and necessarily dependent upon the part held to be invalid or unconstitutional. Section 3, that this ordinance shall take effect from and after its adoption by the mayor and city council. And this is the first reading, Mayor.
Thank you, Ms. Simpkins. Next item on the agenda is resolutions. We have none. Next item on the agenda is unfinished business. We have none. Next item on the agenda, reading of city clerk of any communications. We have none. Next item on the agenda is new business. Item number 1 under new business, proposed approval to award Highway 41 Phase 2 sewer construction. Mr. Parker.
Mayor, council, this is a recommendation to award the Highway 41 sewer project Phase 2 to the low bidding company, Mays Construction Company, in the amount of $746,487.50. We had 3 bids: Mays Construction, Brown Brothers Construction, and Talley Construction, and Mays was the lowest bidder. Engineers have evaluated the bids and recommending approval.
Thank you, Mr. Parker. Have a motion to approve.
Motion.
Have a motion to have a second.
Second.
Have a motion and a second. Any discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries unanimous. Item number 2 under new business, proposed approval to award GIS contract. Mr. Parker.
Okay, this is a request to award Carter and Sloop Engineers task order, CNS task order 2018-01, to create a GIS database for water, sewer, and stormwater infrastructure. Cost is based on the information that we provide, and the cost could slightly vary depending on how many actual fire hydrants we have, how many actual manholes we have. We provided with them the best estimate we had of our infrastructure. Their fee is $101,481. We started this process in January with the 3 engineering firms that we have general services agreements with: CTI, Falcon Design, and Carter Sloop. And several of us, department staff, evaluated these and feel like Carter Sloop is probably the best fit for us on this project.
Thank you, Mr. Parker. Have a motion to approve.
Make a motion.
I have a motion. Do I have a second? Second. Have a motion and a second. Is there any discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries unanimous. Item number 3 under new business, proposed approval of authorization to hire Kistner Paving for theater parking lot. Mr. Parker.
Okay, this is just a request to contract with Kistner Paving to repair the theater parking lot from a water main break in 2016. The amount is slightly over the city manager's authorized spending level, so we're bringing it before council to make this repair. We've been in contact with the theater ownership in Kansas and trying to work with them, let them know we are going to get this taken care of.
Amount, Mr. Parker?
The amount, I'm sorry, $5,600.
All right. Thank you, Mr. Parker. Do I have a motion to approve?
Motion.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Have a motion and a second. Any discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries unanimous. Item number 4 under new business, proposed approval of authorization to purchase chemical treatment for Ann Drive Pump Station. Mr. Parker.
Okay, this is a request to purchase chemical treatment to treat for hydrogen sulfide gas that's generated through wastewater at the Ann Drive Pump Station. It will be through Aqua Water Technologies. Purchase price is $9,474.57. And this is, as a point to point out, on the pump station project that we're going to be doing, one of the elements that we have to replace is the manhole section where the pump station, where the Beaver Road pump station discharges into now. Because of the hydrogen sulfide, that manhole is deteriorated to the point that you can barely keep a lid on it. So it's very corrosive, and this is a chemical treatment to eliminate that. And probably are going to look at adding this as a treatment process for a few other stations in 2019. See how this works out.
Thank you, Mr. Parker. I have a motion to approve.
Make a motion.
Do I have a second? Second. Have a motion and a second. Is there any discussion? All in favor say aye. Aye. Motion carries unanimous. Item number 5 under new business, proposed approval of rate schedule for Arlene Cry Municipal Pool. Mr. Long.
Thank you, Mayor and Council. We're proposing to change the rates for the swimming pool here at Arlene Cry Pool. Proposing to you, we currently have $4 admission fee for the daily gate fee, proposing to go to $5 on that. And 2-hour pool party rentals for the private parties at nights, 4 nights a week that we do. It's currently $175 and going to $200. And the swim lessons going from $40 to $50, and this is for 5 30-minute swim lesson sessions. And the biggest reason on the most of it is because of the chemical prices and power prices, and just everything has went up. We hadn't went up in several years on this. And on the pool parties, the reason for going from 175 to proposing to 200 is a safety reason. We want to have 2 lifeguards versus 1 right now. You have 1 lifeguard for up to 25 people. This will be 2 guards up to 25 people, and it's the safety side of it is if we've got people in the diving well area and then smaller kids over in the big pool area, it's just hard to watch both, so that way we can have there. So we feel it would be best for us. And then the family season passes are proposing to stay the same at $150 for city residents, and then season passes for non-city residents would be $225, and then individual season passes would be $75, which we're proposing to leave it current like it is.
Thank you, Mr. Long. I have a motion to approve.
Make a motion. Second.
Have a motion and a second. Is there any discussion?
Yeah, when you said the swim lessons is that 5 lessons, 30-minute lessons for $50, or is that?
Yes.
Okay.
You get 5 lessons there
I thought
for
that's
a
what
week
you
long.
said.
Yes.
That's a good deal.
Any other questions or comment? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries unanimous. Item number 6 under new business, proposed approval of recommendation of professional service agreement for swim lessons. Mr. Long.
Yes, this agreement proposal is between the city and the Great White Shark Aquatics, which is our swim team head coach there. And what we're proposing, in the previous years, we've used the lifeguards to do the swim lessons. And when you get some that's just starting and is trying to get them trained and up to standards where he's going to use some of the swim team staff, I think it would be a great partnership with them, and they can also might be able to find some good swimmers to even bring up and promote towards their swim team. But what we're proposing is it would be paying them the same, the Great White Sharks Aquatics. The city would get 40%, and they would get 60%, and that was the same thing. We was paying the guards to do the lessons. And then also he would be on some additional times that we would work out when the pool was available of a morning for some private sessions that he might do one-on-ones with swim team members and different things. He would charge them, and the city would get 20% back from whatever he worked out there. That's what this proposal for this agreement is, and it has been looked at by our legal staff, and everything is good to go on it.
Thank you, Mr. Long. Do I have a motion to approve?
Motion.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Have a motion and a second. Any discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries unanimous. Item number 7, under new business, proposed approval of Highway 41 access road storm drainage. Mr. Long.
Yes, when we worked out the agreement on this project to build the road from Scruggs Road over to 41, the agreement was with Brown Construction, our Brown Brothers there, and they was going to do the construction, the subgrade. There was nothing put in about storm drainage and all that was in that contract, so we've got a price from them to do all the stormwater issues, the drainage. This would be the pipe, riprap rock, the fiber material, everything needed. The total amount was $14,582, which would be paid for from our splash. 50% of this, which would be $7,291, would be city's part out of the 14 splash. The other part would be paid by Catoosa County EDA.
Thank you, Mr. Long. I have a motion to approve.
Make a motion.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Have a motion and a second. Any discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries unanimous.
Thank you.
Item number 8, under new business, proposed approval, recommendation to approve 2018 Firehouse Subs Public Safety Foundation. Chief Ballou.
Council, City Manager, and good to see you again, Mr. Stokes.
Thank you, sir.
We come before you for approval of a grant from the Subway Public Safety Foundation. It's an organization under Subway that takes part in the proceedings that Subway makes and gives it out as grants for the public safety. So we're asking your approval for a $30,000 grant request for an electric-powered extrication equipment. This will be used at wrecks, extrications of other than wrecks that we may need something to power to lift stuff.
Thank you, Chief Ballou. I have a motion to approve.
Motion, sir.
Second.
Have a motion and a second. Any discussion?
Can we get him more?
I can only apply once a year if we're approved.
I guarantee you, he applies for everything he can get.
I'm glad you're getting it there, because we eat at Firehouse all the time, and I always round up there to get the
Yeah.
Well, we appreciate that a whole lot.
Yeah,
Good food.
it is.
Oh, yeah.
Any other comments? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries unanimous. Item number 9, under new business, proposed approval of recommendation to approve 2018 GFSTC fireworks tax monies grant application. Mr. Ballou.
We come before you to request your approval for a grant of $10,000 from the Georgia Fireworks Tax Program. The Georgia Firefighter Standards and Training Council is the overseer for it this year, and they're taking applications. Our application is for training material that hopefully we'll be able to use over where we're building or reconstructing a training center over at Station 10.
Thank you, Chief Ballou. I have a motion to approve.
Motion, sir.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Motion and a second. Any discussion?
Thank you for being so
I like that.
frugal and always looking for ways to increase our fire department.
I'll be coming around with a hat after the meeting.
Very good, sir.
All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries unanimous. Item number 10, under new business, proposed approval of council May 28th council meeting due to the Memorial Day holiday. I'll entertain a motion to council May 28th council meeting.
Motion, sir.
Have a motion, to have a second.
Second.
Motion and a second. Any discussion?
Ain't missing it.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries unanimous. May 28th council meeting here at City Hall is canceled. Next item on the agenda, City Manager's Report. Ms. Simpkins.
Thank you, Mayor and City Council. I just have a few items this evening. First and foremost, I'd like to say welcome back to Robbie. We missed you. So we're glad you're doing well. I also want to mention that they weren't able to be here with us this evening, but the state of Georgia's Department of Economic Development has a team of about 9 tourism professionals that are in town, and they're working on a technical assistance grant for Catoosa County, the city of Ringgold, and the city of Fort Oglethorpe. And it's a great collaborative. All 3 entities are at the table, and the purpose is to show this Georgia Department of Economic Development around our county so that they can give us an evaluation of what we can do to improve tourism. And as you all know, tourists bring in sales tax dollars, and that's critical for our ability to maintain capital infrastructure around here. So we want to say welcome to the Georgia product development team that's in town working on this grant. Also, the pool opened Saturday, May 26th. And Jeff informed me right before the meeting that mosquito spraying started today. So I know several of you were talking about mosquitoes. It is that time of the year. So thank you so much, Mayor and Council.
Thank you, Ms. Simpkins. Next item on the agenda, City Council comments and business. Mr. Child.
Well, we won't meet till after the holidays, so everybody have a safe summer. And also, early voting's going on. May 22nd is the vote day. Get out and vote, or you can't really say nothing if you don't. So there's a lot of elections going on. So please vote.
Thank you, Mr. Child. Mr. Crawford.
Yeah, I'd like to, like you said, we won't be here. I know it's a couple weeks away, but congratulate all the graduates, seniors in colleges that are in the community and area, and good luck on your future endeavors, and we're proud of you. Also, to reiterate what the mayor mentioned about Stunt Martin, I'm actually somebody that benefited from some of the works he did. I was fortunate enough to go on and play college ball, which I probably shouldn't have, but it was likes of Stump and somebody opening doors for you, so that he is near and dear to me. But also, talking about recreation, of course, everybody knew that we had our opening day ceremonies the 14th of April, and in that we did a couple of presentations. One of them was we to do 2 different of the entities in the city that we really feel are great for us, and one of them was the police department, and we had some police officers there to represent. And the other one, Jeff's guy did. They had another event, so they wasn't able to be here. So I'll let Jeff take it from here, our rec director.
Thank you, Mayor. It is, as Craig said, that everybody works as a group, as a team in the city, and the recreation, the volunteers that puts many hours in every week up there for the youth does that, and we just wanted to present. We had it this day, and as he said, they led the parade in and got the kids in, and then had to go to another event that they was doing. But I'd like to call Chief Ballou up, and we just wanted to give them a special thanks to the Fort Oglethorpe Fire Department for their outstanding service and dedication to the Fort Oglethorpe recreation.
Thank you.
That's it, Mayor. Thank you, Mr. Crawford. Mr. Rogers.
Yeah, Mr. Mayor, I'd like to say, great to have you back, Roger.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Take care of that. Also, we lost my neighbor, Ms. Frida Eves. Many of you knew her. She was a wonderful lady and a great part of the community. We're going to miss her a lot. Just want to give my condolences to the family as well.
Thank you, Mr. Rogers. Ms. James.
What Craig said about volunteers and the rec department. We spent many years doing that, and you don't know how much everybody appreciates those volunteers. It means a lot. those people behind the scenes don't realize it, and we appreciate them. And also, hope everyone has a safe and happy Memorial Day.
Thank you, Ms. James. Ms. Tenney?
Thank you, sir. Start out echoing what Craig was stressing about the graduates. But the graduates are part of what is planned many, many, many years in advance. And one of the things that we are seeing in Georgia's school system, the statistics showing the children who are struggling with the test scores and standardized testing are kids who do not have the basic necessities to live healthy and productive lives. 25% of Georgia's kids struggle just to have those basic necessities every day in their lives. And it's hard to study, make gains on test scores, and be successful when you're hungry. The state of Georgia now has Get Georgia Reading. Get Georgia Reading is designed to help parents, grandparents, all those guardians who are aiding children in their academic success, which begins with those basic necessities at home. So wanted to encourage everyone to check out Get Georgia Reading this month and how important it is in the summer not to forget to keep Georgia's kids reading. In 1962, that's before I hatched, by the way, John F. Kennedy signed a proclamation designating May 15th as Peace Officers Memorial Day, and the week in which that date falls as Police Week. This is National Police Officers Week, so make sure you thank Fort Oglethorpe's finest for all their services and the things that they do to keep us safe. And one of those important things that they do, only 2 of our officers has this special certification, child safety seats. And back in the day, those things were pretty easy to put in, but nowadays, they are complicated. And if it hadn't have been for the helpfulness of Brian Stokesbury, I never could have gotten my granddaughter's seat in there appropriately. So if you have any question, any doubt, if your child safety seat is installed correctly, please contact Fort Oglethorpe Police Department. They'll be glad to check, and you'll be thankful you did. Honor Park, a tribute to those who served. We had our meeting here. We honored, May is also National Military Appreciation Month. So we honored all of the military who are part of the Fort Oglethorpe Veteran and Citizen Committee. We're going to have a work day on June 2nd at Honor Park, and we hope everyone will enjoy us. Jordan, come and help. Darn it. Come and help us that day on June the 2nd, and be sure to check out the beautiful pavers and all the work that's being done on the park. And guys, yeah, that's all. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Tenney. Next item on the agenda, citizen petitions and requests. We do not have any. Next item on the agenda is executive session. We do not have anything for executive session tonight. Next item on the agenda is adjournment. I will entertain a motion to adjourn.
Make a motion?
Do I have a second?
Second.
Have a motion and a second. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
This meeting is adjourned.